Alright, so one by one I'm going to go down the list of characters to demonstrate where each character can punish Falke's forward heavy punch from. Specifically for the purposes of the Falke players to determine where they can space their normals and in what situations. So about that close is where Ryu can get super, which is actually pretty close, all things considered. And any closer, about there, he can get sweep. Any further than that, and the sweep will just whiff. And from closer still, he can start getting stuff like that. Chun-Li can punish with super at any range. About that range, she can punish with the X legs. And then closer, she can punish with that. That far away, she can punish with the EX Peach. From about that far away, she can punish with super. From about that far away, she can punish with Stand Fierce.
You can't escape!
I won't miss. It's not done. Too slow.
Now watch and learn. Now watch and learn. Now the hunt begins!
Alright, so that should be, like, the furthest away that everyone can punish using different amounts of meter. The reason why that matters, other than that you really need to use this move a lot to check the opponent's wake up after back recoveries, or just to poke, being the only real advancing crush counter, because you can't use this because it can be ducked and punished, and you can't use this because it's useless. So you're gonna have to be using this in certain situations, so you'll need to know what characters can punish it and at what ranges on block. But there's another reason. So I want to talk about Falke's options for chasing down backdashes. So right now, as it works, Falke has really good options to beat counter-poking during her pressure, because a lot of her moves are either light attacks that will just beat out anything, like our legitimate pressure, like so, or her fierce, which pulls back her hurt box and makes it very difficult for her to get beaten out, like so. Except for, of course, I made in my ways to improve Falke video, I made a point about pointing out the certain weird moves that are meant to be anti-airs have this weird property of beating out Stand Fierce. However, you can, for a lot of situations, even though it's not necessarily a frame trap like it would be off of standing light kick or crouch jab, you can usually, especially after medium punches and such, You can swing out the Stand Fierce pretty freely in this range, since it's very difficult for you to get beaten out by other moves, because if you're already at plus frame situations, like say +3 off of a medium punch, this is a 10 frame startup move, only 7 frame, like 8 frame lights and mediums and 7 frame heavies will be able to interrupt you. Or faster, and most moves that are that speed or faster don't have enough range to beat this move out, because its personal hurt box is really good. So this is generally a move you can use a lot. However, one thing, and this isn't the only situation this happens, but it is very easily backdashed as well. Now this isn't necessarily like specifically for Falke. Most characters in the game, you can find places that you can backdash in their strings freely. This isn't a Falke specific thing. And several other characters have trouble dealing with backdashes. Like if you do a medium punch with Sakura, then you have absolutely nothing that you can hit the opponent with to stop them from backdashing out of your pressure. The only thing that you could possibly do is do a hard read and forward dash, even though you're already practically point blank with Sakura, and then punish with something. Falke has a slow forward dash, so when she does that against characters with the fastest backdashes, such as Cammy, she's just +4, which allows you to get that as a punish. But it's still pretty risky, considering how slow Falke's forward dash is. And it'll only be +4 when you do it off of moves that are 3 frames of advantage, like Standing Light Kick and Medium Punch. Anything else isn't fast enough to get a legit punish. So that's not how you can chase down backdashes with Falke. But you will need to chase down backdashes with Falke, because Light Kick and a Medium Punch is generally one that can be backdashed by a lot of characters as well. Not all characters. Some characters have different backdashes, or the start of their backdash is pretty slow, but then they move a big distance afterwards, like Nash or Ryu. But different characters, every single character can backdash Medium Punch to Heavy Punch at some range. Maybe not point blank like Cammy can, but at some range every character can do it. And as you notice, Falke, after whiffing that normal and the opponent backdashing, is -10, which is pretty bad. Some characters can actually whiff punish this move after backdashing. The only characters that can do that can only do so with super. So Cammy can do that, Chun-Li can do that, Balrog can do that. I think, no, Nash, wait. I don't remember if Balrog can do it, but yeah, some, usually characters with the faster backdashes and supers that are really fast and hit really far can do this. Karen cannot do this, punish that after backdashing with super. Colleen can punish it, so yeah. A few characters, you can test which ones. But basically, it's still a bad position. Characters with slower backdashes, the best Falke can be is -6 after they backdash the Fierce Punch, after the Medium Punch. So you'll definitely need to be able to stop the opponent from doing that stuff. And by the way, if you do Light Kick and a Medium Punch, you're going to generally be +1 against the fastest backdashes, and +5 against the slowest backdashes. So bear that in mind. So your ways of beating backdashes are, with Falke, depending on how good the opponent's backdash is. Like, sometimes you can just do, like, say, if I was in range and I just did, like, any light into the Heavy Punch. This is not a very good way of beating backdashes, but if you happen to catch someone trying to backdash, know that you actually can't continue to press buttons in this situation every single time. After you hit them out of the air with a Heavy Punch, you notice Falke will be -2. That's universal across the board. If you hit an opponent out of their backdash with the Fierce Punch, Falke will be -2. You can cancel it into other stuff like that to keep your opponent in check, though. But for the most part, her ways of beating the backdash is close range backdash. She can beat with a hard kick. She can crush counter it. It's not terribly rewarding to do this, though, since she can't really get a juggle off of this. But the option is there. For the most part, you're actually light kick chains well enough so that, say you do like light kick, medium punch a bunch, light kick will do the job just fine, and you can cancel it into Kugel and it'll hit the startup of the backdash. So that's usually an option that you can use, like say they're backdashing after the medium punch to avoid the heavy punch. Then Falke gets pretty much nothing. So, well, at first glance, she gets no normals, except for her two most common ways of beating backdashes are she can do forward heavy punch to crush counter it, depending on the backdash. Sometimes she'll, depending on the character's backdash, sometimes she'll crush counter it, and sometimes she'll hit its recovery and just get a regular standing punish on it. And that's very reliable. You can, if you're reading the backdash, you can just hit it out with that. So that's why it's important to know how close you can poke with this to and be punished by the opponent, and how much meter they need to be able to punish you at those ranges. Because if you're going to be using this to read the opponent's backdash, then you'll need to do it in a range that's safe, or in matchups that are safe. That being said, you don't have to necessarily read a backdash and punish it, like, in this game. So long as they're getting closer and closer to the corner, that's fine. Most characters generally just take it like that. And then get them into the corner where they can no longer get away. Just know that, if they, backdash and get caught by the stand fierce in the corner, that -2 that Falke will be at is actually much more significant since the opponent will be closer. So if they know about that and are specifically using that to get into a -2 situation, just know that that's what's happening. But the other way that Falke can chase down backdashes universally across the board is any move that characters are backdashing afterwards, like a light kick or medium punch. You can cancel into the cannonen, and it'll catch their backdash and cause a knockdown. Which is pretty good, honestly. Like, it's a lot better than a lot of other characters that can punish backdashes. So at closer ranges, you're definitely gonna want to do light kick into Kugel. A little bit farther away, you're definitely gonna want to go for the cannonen, and quite a bit farther away, you're probably gonna want to go for forward hard punch. But depending on the matchup, you can always go for the cannonen, and it will catch their backdash.